People oftentimes think that where they are is kind of a little bit of a limitation or a box.
A combo over salad with sauce on the side.
But oftentimes, if you go above and beyond and find ways to do things that will help you, it'll oftentimes also help the company. The sort of nature of experimentation gives people the freedom to grow their career in the direction they want. My name is Nabeel Khan. I'm 27 years old and I went from making $50,000 a year to over $430,000 in just 5 years while I was at Amazon. I started at Amazon as an operations manager, managing a warehouse floor. From there, I moved over to a project management role and then formally transitioned to the senior product management title. Over the course of the next 1 to 2 years, ended up being responsible for the roadmap for all the tools used to build almost all of Amazon's warehouses around the world. I realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur pretty early in my life. I always saw the life of an entrepreneur as being relatively high reward, but also having a high degree of variability. And it's almost like a constant fun adventure. I left the University of Michigan on May 2nd and I started working at Amazon on May 11th. So there was very little downtime in between when I left and when I started. I had a group of roughly 100 warehouse associates. I was responsible for overseeing their daily performance. It was a really interesting time, kind of post-pandemic, because everybody was really focused on social distancing and working from home, and that just didn't exist for me. I started every single day with 100 people coming directly up to my face and asking me where they should be working. My next step that I was looking towards was the project management space, and I eventually always had my eyes on moving to the product or software space. I wanted to move into this space because of the fact that that industry changed more and there was more exciting projects, but also because of the fact that those jobs paid more too. So what I did is looked around the warehouse that I was in and found opportunities for me to create new projects that I could use to build a portfolio to get me to the project management role. I ended up getting funding from the site's general manager, from our safety teams, as well as creating a project opportunity that involved the entire building. This, as well as a few other opportunities that I identified, were what really helped me move to that project manager opportunity. The career of product management is all about looking a few years in the future, devising a plan, and working backwards from there. I did the same thing with my career, and so when I thought about the mentors I wanted to have, what I did is looked at people who were a few steps ahead of me, and then maybe 5 to 10 steps ahead, and asked them for advice on the skills they had built and the areas in which their careers had grown. I learned how to code by using a software bootcamp from Georgia Tech, which I did over the course of about 6 months. I was always finding ways to be creative about the role that I was currently in, going above and beyond to find ways that I could apply that next role, and both building my career progress as well as the skills for where I wanted to go. I'm very fortunate that my girlfriend's law school stipend covers about half of the expenses for the apartment. We largely split rent as well as some of the utilities and water that kind of come with it. So there's a couple $100 other that are covered by that stipend too. Anywhere on average per month, I'm spending about $5,000, which matches the income that I have currently. Most of that expense is going towards food, insurance, and rent money. Transportation, thankfully in New York, is a much smaller amount. I don't have to pay for a car or parking. I will use the subway for most of the time that I get around. One of the things that I do like is just going out to restaurants with my friends and girlfriend, and that's probably one of the few sort of luxuries that I really keep for myself too. When I was at Amazon, I was a little lucky to actually have a lower cost of living that enabled me to save more of my money. I was doing a lot of travel between New York and Atlanta at the time, staying both with my girlfriend for a few weeks, doing a lot of work-related travel, and staying with some family. I was able to save a lot of money on rent since I didn't have to pay a continuous place to live. I was saving upwards of about 80% of what I was making on a month-to-month basis. My financial goal is to have an overall net worth of $1 million by the time I'm 30. This feels like a relatively high milestone because of the fact that I've been working in high net worth jobs for a while, as well as the fact that I want to be able to enter this next stage of my life with a high degree of certainty and financial stability. I knew that my time at Amazon was going to be eventually limited. I actually had originally planned to leave earlier, but it just didn't feel right yet. I always had the dream of owning my own company at the forefront of technology when I grew up. And technology was an area where I always found I could innovate and also do something new every single day.
I used to work for Amazon for a while, so pretty familiar with at least AWS base stack.
I was reaching my late 20s, and so it felt like a great time to continue taking risks in my career. Thankfully, because of my career at Amazon, I was able to amass about $650,000 over the course of my 5 years there, which gave me a really good financial cushion to leave my job with.
Basically engineering roles to engineering.
Yeah, and I also started at Entrepreneurial.
It was the space you were working in.
Initially, I was using my own savings to cover the cost of doing my business, but about 2 to 3 months in, I was able to start paying myself back. And now at this point, because I'm making about what my living expenses are, I'm no longer having to rely on my own savings to continue funding the company. For the near term, especially the next 1 to 2 years, I will probably be focusing largely just on making sure the company continues to run and grow. Usually I spend about, on average, 80 hours a week working. And if I'm not working, I'll be spending my time with my friends and family or taking care of my health in the gym. And that's frankly all I do. I think a successful life to me is one that balances work as well as time with family and friends. If I can have a really successful business and a really successful family life, that's kind of all that I'm trying to optimize for, and wherever that journey takes me is where I'm willing to go.
Is it
The biggest thing I've learned during my career at Amazon that's helped both me and a ton of the people that I've mentored is to just be creative about what you can do in your current environment. People oftentimes think that where they are is kind of a little bit of a limitation or a box. Having the agency to just look around corners, try the things out that you want to do, and building those things for yourself is something that the sort of nature of experimentation gives people the freedom to grow their career in the direction they want.